Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Robert Espinosa. I'm the fire chief with the city of Manhattan Beach. And we are joined today by Police Chief Eve Irvine, Ronald and Melissa Clinton, and our city manager, Mark Dene. On, on Wednesday, February 4th, early in the morning, about 2:15 a.m., the Manhattan Beach Fire Department units were called to a residential fire on the 700 block of 11th Street. The fire was mainly located on the exterior of the front porch and the home owned by the Clintons. During the extinguishing of the fire, it was determined that the cause was of a suspicious nature. It appeared from all indications the fire was intentionally set. Specially trained fire investigators with the Manhattan Beach Fire Department were collecting evidence and analyzing the physical evidence on the scene. We were working with the Manhattan Beach Police Department, conducting interviews, looking for eyewitnesses, searching for electronic security information, and anyone that has any information on this fire. The motive in this is still under investigation. Racial motivation and hate crimes are being considered. However, we have not ruled out any possibility. We are asking today for the public's assistance. Anyone who has any information who may have seen something unusual or suspicious in the area of Highview and 11th Street, please to contact the Manhattan Beach Fire Department at area code 310-345-0467. That's my statement I have, and I'd like to introduce Ronald Clinton.
Thank you. First of all, we want to thank the community for their overwhelming show of support. The response from the community has just been overwhelming. We have a website called Fundly.com, which at this point has raised well over $12,000. We ask that you, it's been set up as a reward has been set up on this website. So if you could go to Fundly.com, that would be much appreciated. Tonight we are holding a vigil at the Medlocks, which is in Manhattan Beach, for people who are interested in showing support. We'll be there tonight starting at 6 p.m. We ask that if anyone knows anything, please contact law enforcement and let's try to catch this individual, because this is not something that we want in our community. Thank you.
I just want to reiterate that the community, the two chiefs that we stand between have been tremendously supportive. And if we're overwhelmed with anything, it's not anger, it's not fear, it's the love that we feel in this community. We so appreciate the way people have rallied. They're more upset than we are, and that says 1,000 words. We feel loved and blessed and cherished, and the thing most important to us is that we catch whoever did this so that we don't have to worry each night that they're still out there. So please help us. Please call the police department, the fire department with any leads. No lead is too small. Any suspicion, anything you hear, please share it so that we can move on. Thank you.
We'll take some questions. Where emotionally has this taken you? A fire at your doorstep with three children, Melissa or Ron, or both?
Well, when something like this happens, it rocks you to the core. Our kids are everything to us. Our home is everything to us. And it's a place that we go to feel safe. Well, that's been rocked to the core. And right now, we feel very shaken. We're trying to maintain a sense of normalcy with our children. We try to keep them busy so that they're somewhat distracted. At some point, we know that they will, return to this, and they will start to embrace what actually has happened. So right now, we're just trying to maintain and rebuild and get on with our lives and keep things normal for the children.
Mr. Clinton, you seem pretty certain this was a hateful crime, a hate crime, motive. What brings you to that reaction? What convinces you that?
Well, you know, first of all, it's a feeling that I have, and it's based on just a few circumstances. Number one, us being the only African American family in the area. Number two, the fact that our house is, you know, if it's situated, you know, in an area that's tucked away, that's nondescript. You know, it doesn't stand out. There's not a lot of noise that comes from our home, and so those are the main things. And then we have no beef with anyone. You know, there's no animosity that we have with anyone in particular. And so it's like, what other reason that I can think of? There's no other reason that I can think of.
Were there any messages? Did anyone ever contact you and threaten you in any way before or after the hearing?
No, did not happen.
It's a gut feeling.
No, it's a gut feeling that I have, and I can't come up with any other gut feeling to suggest anything else.
Mr. Clinton, when you spoke on the phone yesterday, first of all, thank you for that.
Sure.
You were very upset. Have you had a chance to think anything over? You still feel as strongly as you did yesterday? This is Mr. Clinton, have your wife answer that?
Yeah.
Do you want me to answer?
Yeah, let me just say one more thing. I do feel, that what this is, I feel like it's possibly an individual, you know, not necessarily individual or group. Who knows? I don't know, you know, and I don't want to jump to any conclusions because the investigation is still going on. But I do feel that it's possible that it could be.
If they were sending a racial message, why wouldn't they articulate that somehow with everyone knows there's something connected to their family?
They did.
Well, I think the articulation is in the act itself, you know. That's what I would interpret it to mean. I mean, if you have an explosion at your house and your family, your kids are threatened, their lives are threatened, to me, you don't have to write it out on a piece of paper or on a house or anything to indicate that.
And there were previous events, you said, I saw somewhere written, trash, drug paraphernalia. Can you tell us about those too?
Drug paraphernalia that was found at the entryway of our home that was reported, as well as trash that has been placed at our home, large items that have been placed at our homes, just our home. You know, no other home on the block, just our home. This is recent.
You responded, I mean, you were very, very eloquent on the phone yesterday. You had some really strong emotions. I wondered if you could still, have you had 24 hours, change your tune at all?
No, not at all. You know,
Because you said point blank to me that this was, you were targeted.
until I have proof to the contrary, we were targeted because of the color of our skin.
You have proof of that?
I said, until we have proof to the contrary, we were targeted because of the color of our skin. We are African Americans. We've been African Americans all our lives, living in this country, and we are allowed to reach conclusions based on our experience. That is my entitlement. And what I can say is that the community has rallied behind us, and we think it's isolated. We don't think that the community is racist. We think an individual or individuals are racist. And until I know who did it, so that's the way we answer that question. Help us find who did it, and then we'll know. But until we do, that's our conclusion.
You're pleased with the way the police now responded?
We are. They have been very helpful, thoughtful, and we believe that they're doing everything in their power. We're happy to have others offer assistance, and I believe that they have, in fact, requested assistance from other authorities. And so, it's a group activity as far as we're concerned. Anyone who's willing to help.
Until this happened, did you ever have any fear that this, and you had the other incidents that happened, but did you have any fear in the back of your mind that anything like this would have happened?
No, that's just not how we roll. If we were going to be afraid, we wouldn't live here. It's not the way we live. It's not what we teach our children. We walk proud, we walk strong. You do good things by good people, and good things happen to you. That's our experience. So I can't wake up in fear. It's just unacceptable to me.
With regard to the appeal to Kitchen Police, how much work do you believe that Ms. Parkman had to go to in order to get that fire to the front door? You mentioned earlier that there was a fire there and it was May.
Well,
So if
well,
people were looking, trying to remember what they may have seen that night, or what Ms. Parkman was able to actually get together in order to carry out this crime, what was your thinking, how much work was planned to try to find your front door?
well, I'm assuming that the person who did this or people or whatever didn't walk down the street with accelerant, and a tire or rubber, whatever it was they used, carrying it. I'm assuming they had a vehicle that they drove up to, and they, came up to our front door, and they set it up. And it's pretty dark. It was pretty dark in the area, so they could have had, the darkness it could have camouflaged them. No lights coming down the street, it's very quiet, and it's possible that, they just simply drove up, vehicle, I'm assuming they used a vehicle, and they walked up, or came up to our home, set it up, and boom, and they were gone, and just like that.
Um, I think I'm more stunned than anything at this point. I'm probably still in the process of processing it all. Chief Irvine and I were talking about what it's like to be a mother, and because the first thing I heard from my husband was the reassurance that the kids were okay, I never got to the point of them not being okay, right? And I'm not going to get to the point of them not being okay because they're fine. And we believe in God in this family. I don't think, and just the way I roll, nothing happens without God's permission, even if it's something you don't like. So they were not meant to go out at that time, and I am grateful for that. I think he's the one who made the final call. That's just where I stopped. So I'm not angry as much as I am stunned. Not in any way, maybe something fleeting, but you just do this and you keep going. Being an African American in America today means certain things. So we all encounter something at some time. Our kids are going to encounter something or sometime. What we've told them to do is keep rolling because it's insignificant. That's ignorance. You keep going. This one we can't roll by because they brought it to our front door, destroyed our house. We have to move out. That's not okay. So we need to find who did this.
The question? N- No, no, nothing. I mean, nothing really. I mean, you may occasionally see someone that's a little distant or whatever, but nothing that's been overt. Nothing that we have noticed to the point that we need to sit down and discuss. It's been this community. Look, this community has been just great. From the time we moved here, we were greeted with open arms. And so for something like this to happen now, and we've been in this community for, going on 12 years, it's a shock, and it's disheartening, and it doesn't reflect the experience that we've had in this period of time. This is not what this community has shown us in any way, shape, or form.
Have either of you sort of stand back to the younger events and thought, in the respect of protection, to sort of lay kind of axe to ground with this one?
Well, we want to get to the bottom of this. So of course we're going to explore all avenues, and we've discussed these things, and there's nothing that we can come up with to suggest anybody that we know in our personal lives or work lives or whatever that is capable of doing anything like this.
Thank you so much
We've been we've been contacted by the FBI, and we are remaining in contact. They have offered assistance, and we'll work with them and get whatever assistance we can. I'm not quite sure which state agency we've reached out to, but we have contacted the ATF, the Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives Agency. They're not actively on the crime scene. That's correct.
Chief, if this was found out and sort of hate crime connection, there are enhancements for whoever gets arrested. Can you tell us about what those would be?
Well, I'm not the expert on that part. That I have to turn over to my counterpart, the police chief.
Yeah, and this will be the last question. Yes, so there are different enhancements, whether they're enhancements when you file the case, or whether enhancements for sentencing. But if it is determined that this is a hate crime or racially motivated, we will do everything we can to ensure that the person responsible for this is brought to the highest level of prosecution, which would be federal. The Metlock Center, which is just south of where we are right now, at 13th and Morningside. Yes, sir. It can be. It can be. Thank you all very much. Thank you.